Hey, how's it going? Okay, I'm really late doing this. It was like 8:11 last night, or whatever, hours ago, and 8:11 p.m., and I was like, get up and go make your video, go do it. 8:17, I'm still sitting there. Get up, go do it. 11:01, hi, still in the chair. Pardon, don't mean to snort like that. My nostril wants to run. Just one. Anyway, let me get started here. Since I finally did get started. Alright. I pulled two cards. I meant to pull one, but I pulled two from the Shaman's Dream Oracle deck. Oh shoot, and I didn't pull a and I pulled a number 49 skywriting, and the subtitle is The Fates. Uh-oh, accidentally turned on the other. Will you stop it? Accidentally turned on the other computing device. Maybe I should just shut that off so I don't touch it again and get it all turned on. Oh, never mind that. Okay, so skywriting. There's some things going on here in this card. There is a big giant planet in the background that's that's an interesting color. It's sort of like steel, like a dark. Well, I don't know. Does steel come dark? Maybe if they anodize it. I don't know, but it's got something like that going on. And then there's like a. Well, I mean, I was just looking here where you can see there's like a sort of a red shade coming out of this cloudy looking business here. The thing is, this cloudy looking business, I mean, okay, clouds. Why are they so white? Is that out in space, or are they close to, I guess, whatever's going on here, which is, I don't know, space with some runes in it? I'm not sure what's going on, but what really stood out to me was that the clouds, if that's what they are, they look like a snowy owl, a white owl, hence the name Snowy. And those are, if you're familiar with a snowy owl, owls remind me a lot of cats because of the eyes. Cats cannot turn their head 360 degrees, although I don't really think an owl can either, just very close. But I know that a cat has extra spinal, what do you call them? Each little set along the spine, there's a little bone. Anyway, cats have more of them, and it enables them to squiggle into the shapes that they can and stuff themselves into boxes and things. Okay, I don't want to get hung up on cats. Just the fact that the snowy owl, like if you look at its legs, the feet have big old talons. They are not feet, they're not paws like on a cat, but what looks similar is it'll have feathers going completely down from its body to the foot where the talon is, but it looks like on a cat, sometimes it looks like they're wearing their coat, their fur coat looks like pajamas. Maybe that's just me, I don't know. But that's my impression. And of course cats don't have wings, I do realize that, and owls don't have tails. There's just a couple of similarities that are cat-like to me. Aren't you glad you know that now? Let me read from the guidebook. Skywriting, the fates, that which we cannot change. non-judgment. It is written in the sky that you have a destiny. You are being invited to explore certain aspects of life unique to you and you alone. That does not mean your path will be easy, paved with gold and littered with diamonds. Oh, good, I don't like either of those junk. Nor does this predict that your journey will be treacherous. It's just your path, with parts that cannot be changed and must be radically accepted as they are. Wow. That's interesting. Obviously, you can't change something that cannot be changed and is not meant to be changed. It's an immutable sort of road mark in your life. And it's like those challenges that come up periodically just to keep us on our toes. For instance, I had a terrible misunderstanding with myself and put myself in a very tight financial position, and then I got it figured out, made phone calls to places I don't like making phone calls to because you have to sit around and wait forever and talk to bots and struggle to get a live human on the phone, but I did all of those things without losing my composure, which is an achievement for me because that stuff drives me off the deep end. But I stayed dry, kept my powder dry, and got it all figured out. And I was about to do this on Friday. Well, anyway, it was Friday, the last Friday we just had. And I had my rent money, or rent check rather, and I was about to start making a video, and I had a bunch of stuff sort of everywhere, and I was getting irritated because stuff was falling over, and it was just too crowded up here. And I had the thing, and I said, oh, let me fill this out so that no one else can get their hands on it and just spend it. And then I'm in my house, by the way. There's no one that's gonna come in here and like get a hold of it, so I don't even know what that thought was for, but apparently it was for something, because I filled it out, put it aside, and I know I remember filling it out, folding it with its receipt still attached because it was a money order, and sticking it somewhere like, I'll get to you later. And then when I got done, what is it, it's now Sunday, technically, and you think I can find that thing? Nope. I don't know where it went. And I'll tell you, it definitely did not leave this kitchen. It did not go in the trash. Trash went out, but hours before I sat down to do that video, and I did go through the trash that was, and I found the receipt part, so the check is somewhere. So it's a holiday weekend. Thank you for your input. And it's now Sunday. It's early wee hour Sunday, but Sunday nonetheless. And then I will have also Monday to try and locate this money order. I don't know what the heck I did with it, but there's something to be learned in that. And I'm feeling like it was probably my irritation to get started on that other video and my rush to do it, that I can remember up to the point of filling the thing out, and then I remember reaching out to put it somewhere, and that's where my memory ends. So I have asked for guidance on this. I have prayed to the being, whoever it is that helps you find lost stuff, to please help me find that. It's kind of important. So yeah, just gotta kind of hold it together and not lose my mind over it, because it's just a thing that happened, and I know it's retrievable. Like, I can find the thing eventually, but it's like I'm trying to find it too hard and stressing out about it, and it's not good. So I just kind of had to let it go. But let me go on with what it says here. I hope there was a reason for interrupting myself to say all that. Thanks. You know, everybody's got a comment. Anyway, moving on. This does not mean your path will be easy, paved with gold and littered with diamonds. Nor does this project that your journey will be treacherous. It's just your path, with parts that cannot be changed and must be radically accepted as they are. In this way, whenever you are faced with every single aspect of your life is perfect in its imperfection. Given what I just said, yay? I hope there's a part 2. Not good or bad, neither inflow nor blocked. Shame on you. That is so rude to keep interrupting me. Inflow, neither inflow nor blocked. This nor that. See your life as a series of opportunities rather than an obstacle course. Well, boy, that's a lesson that keeps coming across my path. And I already believe that. You don't have to convince me, but I've seen it so many times. I feel like I should talk about it. So, yeah, see your life as a series of opportunities rather than an obstacle course. And, you know, there was a time where I would have seen the obstacles and challenges as just terrible things that were happening to me. Big, huge problems, and it was not easy to sort of change my mind about this. Sorry, I'm having one of my obsessive weird things. I don't like that. Or that, apparently. Darn it. Give me a second here. Where's that cursor at? I wish I could see stuff. There it is. What was I just saying? Okay, that was inconvenient, but I need to stop and deal with it calmly. Hold on. Wow, that just totally fell apart. I can't even put it back right now. Okay. Now I don't even remember. Oh, okay, so things you cannot change. I can't do anything about that just happened. Not right now. But when it fell, that was bothersome enough. But then I was really bummed that I have a heart that I keep on there. Yeah, okay. Thanks for interrupting. And the heart ended up on there because I was on Facebook one day and I have a friend that I've known for a long time, and he's a prickly character. That's all I can say. I've known him for years and spent a lot of time hanging out with them in sort of, I guess, party situations, like situations where lots of drinking was involved back when I was into that. And we're friends. We got to be friends, but I don't know how to explain it. Like, he's my friend, but sometimes he's a total dick. That's just the surface way of describing it. There's more to it, obviously, or it's not obvious to you, but let me just say, I wouldn't waste my time spending it with this person if there was not some value involved. So, anyway, I had not been on Facebook for several years, and he followed me, which was kind of an outreach I was not expecting, but I was glad to receive the friend request, which I accepted. And he did a reel, which, if you don't know what that is, you can look it up, but you should, because it's been on Facebook forever now. And anyway, it was basically them standing there flipping everybody off that was going to look at this thing. And so I made a response reel, I guess, or video or something, but I made a response and put it up. And it was in opposition to him, just standing there silently flipping people off. It's like, you're sending this to your friends, dipwit. What are you saying? So I made a little heart, cut it out, and just didn't say anything, just showed the heart. But anyway, the board fell. Not thrilled about it. It's meant to be there. But the heart fell off, and I was like, wait, that was like more upsetting than the board falling down. And I'm going to diverge further here. I was watching one of my favorite readers, Secret Shaman, SOS Messages, and she was like, this is what I do with my spare time. I found a potato chip that looks like a heart. And she went and got the potato chip and put it on a black something so you could, for contrast, so you could make it out. And it was a perfectly heart shape, like the kind we draw with the two humps at the top and the point at the bottom. Like, I'm going to show you. God, you already fell. I get it. Can you stop trying to fall more? Anyway, here's my heart. It's not a chip, but I made this months ago, and I just hang on to it. I've left it on my board because I love my friend, and I guess the flipping off is his twisted way of loving his friends. I don't know, but he's always been that way. Like he's like a sweet apple with a razor blade in it. Really? Anyway, I love him in all of his prickliness, and I don't understand why he's that way, but he's not the only person I know that's like that. I don't understand it. But you just kind of have to accept stuff with people, especially if you care about them. It's an immutable part of being their friend. Okay, so let me continue. Wow, this is taking a long time to read this little bit. Okay, what's the matter of the skill of non-judgment? Oh, once you master the skill of non-judgment, you open to the power of curiosity, unencumbered by the burdens of yesterday's fear, as you look ahead into the potential of the future. Well, I mean, I guess I mastered the skill of unjudgment with Prickly Friend. I have accepted those immutable parts of him that, I don't know, it's like petting a cat, and the cat doesn't want you to stop petting them, and they will bite you if you stop, and you're like, wait, you want me to pet you, but you're biting me? But they're all happy and purring if you're petting them. It's kind of like that dichotomy. But you have that type of situation in your life and those people in your life. Anyway, yes, you will need to be brave. Oh, pardon me, I'll just start over. Once you master the skill of non-judgment, you open the power of curiosity, unencumbered by the burden of yesterday's fear, as you look ahead into the potential of the future. Yes, you will still need to be brave. Right now, you are facing a critical moment in time, with an opportunity to meet your fate. A choice point where you expand your influence and your capacity for side-eye, abundance, love, and purposeful action. Now is the moment to leap into it. Whether it be a heart connection, whether it be a what now? A heart connection. I love the synchronicities. It makes it so fun. It being the spiritual stuff. Where was I? Now is the moment to leap into it, whether it is a heart connection, a call to creativity, or a new identity in your work or another area of life. With all of your heart and soul, your success is merely written in the stars. Oh, your success is surely written in the stars. You know, I am having vision blurs come and go, so please excuse me. I know that's terrible. It sounds like it's just going. I'm not resigning my eyesight to a death penalty. I may just need to rub my eyes or clean my glasses. Back to this. Now is the moment to leap into it, whether it be a heart connection, a call to creativity, a new identity in your work, or another area of your life. With all your heart and soul. Your success is surely written in the stars. In order to bring your destiny to fruition, you must jump into the adventure with both feet and do your part. You must jump into the adventure with both feet and do your part. Helping. That has meaning for me. I mean, particularly. I mean, seriously. So, I actually pulled 2 cards, and I didn't pull an animal. Whoa! Come on now. Hold on. I didn't pull a wild unknown animal spirit card earlier, but I'm going to do that now because at first I wasn't going to, and now I guess I am. So, but I did pull a second card from the Shaman's Dream Oracle deck. Here, I don't know why I have to do this right now, but I guess I do. Let me just give these a quick shuffle. That's not all I want to do of shuffling. Here, go over there. So I'm going to pull that after I deal with the second card that also came out at the same time as the first one. Oh, number 49. That's going to break down to 4. Like, I started to say this earlier, but I wish I would have figured out this trick when I was a kid in school because it's so simple. When you have any number and you put it up against 9, you're going to end up with it being like that same number is going to come up again. So 9 and 3 is 12. If it was 9 and 10, it would be 13, but it's not 10. See, 10's an easy divisible. 9 also is, because I know the divisibles or the multiples, you know, by rote at my advanced stage, but why am I holding that? That's the wrong. Oh no, it's not. Oh, so it wasn't a 3, it was a 4. My mistake. It's 49. Right in front of me too. But anyway, so you're gonna end up with 13 if you would put 9 plus 4. And what is 13 if you add it together? 4. So always what comes before the 9, which is a 4, it's always going to break down to 4. Even so, it's 13, but if you break down 1 plus 3, it's 4. Understand what I'm saying? Whatever's in front of the 9 is the number you're going to end up with at the end of your problem, your math problem. So simple. Not simple enough for this simple brain, but I know it now. So, and here's okay. Here's what happens with the easy divisible 10. I pulled number 49, right? And the second card that was stuck to it was number 59. Same thing. 9 plus 5 is gonna be 14. 14 together, 4 plus 1 is 5. So right there in front of that 9 is the 5. It always works. I wish I would have known that when I was a kid. Things would have gone so much quicker. So much more quicklier. Would you please stop interrupting? Anyway. What is happening? Okay. I may sneeze. So, number 59 is Wailing Tree. What is... No! Something is happening under my shirt and I don't know what it is. Stop it. Okay. Oh, great. There's a stupid commercial coming on in the background. Are you done? Good. Thank you. So, wailing tree. That just looks like a huge fire. It's like a tree, yes. As you can see the trunk and the roots, they're meeting the ground. But up here, its hair is on fire. And inside of it, my gosh, there are some pained looking faces here and there. Well, that's definitely a human face right there. It's up here a little bit. But there's also other faces that I see in there that are like animal faces, which makes me think of a forest on fire. What is your problem? I have this phone linked to my laptop, which is what I'm making this recording on, and it just every 5 seconds wants to tell me I'm connected, I'm connected, I'm connected. Good. I'm not using phone right now. Please STFU and stop interrupting me. Anyway, there seems to be like a badger face over here, sort of sticking out, and then there's other things on here that are just like intimations of faces, like maybe an eye, a pair of eyes, or like a nose to chin portion of face, and they're animal faces. That's what they look like to me. They're just partial bits. Ow, and that's interesting. Well, anyway, it's interesting because I'll go on to read. But if you look too in the background, just the sky is also burning up. Like, what is happening? What is all this fire? And that face just looks like it's in utter pain. I'm not sure where to go with that. That was like, something is happening there. Something is going on. Oh my gosh, and you know what else it looks like? It also looks like a mushroom cloud in a way. A very scorchy one, but I mean, I guess that should be expected with a mushroom cloud's intensity of heat and pressure. Really? Let's see what the guidebook has to say. And not you, please, butt out. Please. Okay, so wailing tree. Grief and mourning. Good. No kidding. A time of necessary losses. Reconciliations. Pardon me. When you encounter the wailing tree on your path, it's an invitation to stay a while and regroup. A place for you to rest and allow yourself to say goodbye to what no longer serves. You may be overdoing things, working too hard or putting too much effort into life with too little reward. Well, it actually says you may have been overdoing things, working too hard or putting too much effort into life with little reward. If you've been considering making a change, now is the time to do it. I mean, if you don't change your location, you're not going to have anything but a pile of ashes, tree or mushroom cloud. This shit's on fire, and you gotta move. Like, it's time. You can't dilly-dally around any longer, stuck in your, you know, what happened in the past and your pain. This is telling me it's time to get out of Dodge and move on to the next thing, or else damage to you is going to start happening that maybe you didn't intend. Like, haven't you been hurt enough? It is time to go. When you encounter the wailing tree on your path, it's an invitation to stay a while and regroup. A place for you to rest and allow yourself to say goodbye to what no longer serves. You may have been overdoing things, working too hard, or putting too much effort into life with little reward. If you've been considering making a change, now is the time to do so. One important thing to consider before you make any changes is that you need to allow yourself to feel your disappointment, your loss, and mourn what was and what could not be. And then you gotta let it go. This is a way to honor your experience, to give yourself time to consider all the gifts in it. Well, that's certainly true. I think I said this at the top. Stuff happens to us and we are not taking it as the gift that it actually is. It is about, woe is me. This happened to me. And things don't happen to us. They happen for us. But something about what I just said reminds me of something that I guess I've always wanted to say, and that is, if you're in a situation where, say, your child has something that happens to them, they are in a car accident, it's really tragic, or they're like an addict and they're ODing all the time, and you're just like on pins and needles because you don't know if the next time it happens they're gonna like come back. But it's not your experience, right? Like, say that kid doesn't OD but they go to jail. I have heard so many times a parent say, why is this happening to me? Or a spouse, why is this happening to me? Well, it's not happening to you, it's happening for you. But it's also not, you're the observer, you're the bystander. The person that is having the thing happen to them is the person sentenced to prison, is the person ODing somewhere on the ground or whatever, or in the ambulance, or whatever it is. But that is their experience. That is not happening to you. What's happening to you is you're watching it. And I always feel like it's important to clear up that distinction so that at the very least you're not like actually robbing the person having the experience of part of their experience, trying to make it about yourself. It just always bothered me, so there, I got it out of my system. This is a way to honor your experience, to give yourself time to consider all the gifts in it, to put proper closure on it, to really know what you've learned as you walk away from it and into something new. So all of that, learning the experience and feeling the emotions and maybe putting it into the proper perspective of, it's not happening to you. Whatever it is, it's happening for you, and you may just be observing the experience. There needs to be a level of, what is the word? Proportionality. You have to understand, like, maybe when something happens to your child that's tragic, or your loved one, or whatever the connection is to the person to you, but you're not the one sitting in the hospital, jail cell, or whatever it is, use your sense of proportion and understand that they are the one having the experience. So it's not the time or place for you to have like a big overblown reaction and make it about yourself, or take the attention that that person needs on them. Like, people, if they're worried about someone that's close to dying and they're all standing around a hospital bed around this person that's maybe on the edge, what that person in the bed does not need, nor the people carrying around the bed, they don't need a person to come in and go, oh my God, this is so terrible, I feel so bad, I can't believe this is happening to me. Well, remember, you ain't in the bed injured or ODing. Keep that into perspective. Like, get your proportions straight. Don't be obnoxious. But you do need that time to process whatever happened. And I feel like that's what that tree is talking about. And, well, I don't know what happened, but it must have been pretty explosive, because everything is on fire and charred in there, and pain is happening. So, even in the perception of failure, there's much good to be discovered. However, skipping the stages of loss doesn't get you to reconciliation any faster. In fact, you will discover that you will have to come back at some point. So do it all now. Look at it all squarely and honestly and stay with your feelings. Life is not either or, it's both and. This or that. So as you dive in and process this, allow it to become a temporary travel companion on your journey. Temporary. Don't wallow in it. Especially if it's not your it to wallow in. The feelings that this will bring to the surface will be challenging for sure. Yet like all things, they will pass soon enough, and you will be more enriched by the experience. So, one thing that I was doing earlier was meditating, and I've been finding myself doing a lot of it lately, and it's good. You reach conclusions and things. But if you've been watching my videos for a while, you have seen me cringing and saying ow about this shoulder, which I have damaged. And I told you in previous videos how that happened this last time. But it started a re-injury when I got this trike and I'm riding it, and the handlebars are not high enough, so it's a bad angle, and that causes me pain in the shoulder. And then a few months back, I was in Walmart and I was on my trike in the store, and the seat that I had on there had been making a torsion tear. It's weird. It's not the most sturdy seat post situation, and so stresses happen to it constantly. But I didn't realize this, and so we're in the store, and all of a sudden the tear broke. It got all the way to its end, and it actually tore. The metal just tore. And the only thing keeping that seat sitting on top of that bike was me sitting on it. But when the seat tore, I went back like that, and I felt like if I didn't grab the handlebars, which I probably already had my hands on, very tightly and just hold, I was going to fall back and smash my head on the floor, which I did not want to do. I did not want to fall at Walmart and have to pick myself up off the floor. I can do it, but it's not pretty to look at, so I didn't want to do that. And I was just doing everything I could to stay atop that thing. And keep in mind, I had no idea that it had completely detached from the seat post, okay? The seat that I was on. I just kept my center of gravity, which was right straight above that thing. But it really put a quick end to our shopping trip because we were not finished. And I was like, you know what? I can't do this. I gotta go. And would have been fine to just go and sit in the car, but we ended up leaving. But we did have to go through the check stand. So I'm on this thing. When I had fallen back and prevented my fall, I just tore something in here, right? And this joint did not like the pressure either. So 10, 12, 15 more minutes, I'm in the store, I'm on this thing, and I'm in pain, or immediately. So, we had been in the middle of the store. We had to make our way to the front with our purchases, and then they put those check yourself things, self-check stands, so had to wait in line for that. And you think you can ever get through it without some kind of error happening where you got to call someone over to fix it? It was just taking, it ended up 25 minutes before we got out of there. So all this time, I'm in escalating pain, and I don't even know exactly why it's happening. And we get to the car, and I get up off the seat, and the seat just falls on the ground. And me and my caregiver are just both looking at it oh my God, because the metal tear was jagged and looked like it just wanted to kill you. It was so sharp and ugly. And I was like, oh my God, I just got this thing. What just happened? I thought the bike broke. Luckily, the seat that I had been using was my seat from my bike messenger years, and it was just old and worn, and I think that the tilty situation and the weight shifting, the metal was already stressed, but it was in the seat, like the part where the seat attaches to a seat post. Thank God the trike didn't break. And I came upon another seat fairly easily. My caregiver said, "Oh, I have one," because I had given her the one that came with this thing, which was ridiculous. Like, it's a mobility device, which means I have trouble with mobility, like walking. And trying to get on that thing with this gigantic square seat they sent was just, it was just a bad situation. Like, I couldn't do it without someone there to spot me or something to hold on to. Just inconvenient. So we had swapped out seats. And she said, "Here, take the one from the bike that I put your seat on." And it's a lot better. It's like a cruiser seat, and it has springs, which I don't like. So it's temporary. I'm going to switch that out too. So the seat is not important. The injury is, right? So this happened now a couple of months ago. I had been to the doctor about it because it feels really terrible, and there's no way to avoid, moving the injury because it's my arm. And when I was meditating, yes, I'm finally getting back to what I started saying. When I was meditating yesterday, I remembered that when I was a bike messenger in San Francisco, when I had that same seat that broke and tore, I was on a rush delivery at the end of the day. It was a court filing, and I had to go down a hill to get to the courthouse. And it was, 5:10 p.m. peak traffic, so very packed street. Everybody's in a hurry to get where they're going, get out of town, whatever they're doing. And I'm already like, ooh, like there's parked cars on the right of me, and then all this packed traffic on the left. And even though it's packed, like, people would drive all stupid. This is a surface street, and people are like changing lanes all fast and moving over and being all aggressive and almost causing accidents with each other. That was like typical day-to-day traffic on that street. So that's what's going on my left. Parked cars on the right, and I'm like nervous. I'm nervous. I'm not even thinking about what happened. I don't know what I was nervous about, but I found out a driver opened their door in front of me. And you know what I hit? It was right here, my shoulder. I'm barreling down the hill. Velocity, weight, ow. Yeah, so I smack into that door. On the other side of me, I don't even know how this happened. I'll tell you what happened after I stopped moving from hitting the door, and then, that like knocked me all over the place. There was a cab on the left side of me. I totally took out the guy's wing mirror. Totally just big scratch down the side in the paint. It was a company cab, like he wasn't going to have to pay for any of it, but he was freaked out because on one side I hit this door with all of my weight and velocity, and then on the other side I go flying and I just knocked off the whole assembly, not just the mirror, like the thing that held the mirror to the car. Bam-o, that went flying. And then I wrecked the side of the car. But what ended up happening was I bounced back the other way, and luckily I fell into the door again of this parked car that had opened. And when I stopped, my foot was like crammed between the frame and the sprocket, and I was just mangled, right? And I ended up falling back into this door, which was good, because if I would have fallen in traffic with everybody moving all fast and darting around, that would not have been good. And I, had to give information to this cab guy so that they could deal with insurance for the damage and blah, blah, blah. So I'm having to, think, and I'm having to call another messenger to, hurry up, come pick up this filing, because time's a wasting. And so I'm doing that. I'm in pain. The people it was a couple, actually, that owned this vehicle, and they were from somewhere in Orange County, California, and an expensive area where they did not have bike messengers. And I think at the time there were not bike messengers in California, to my knowledge, anywhere except San Francisco, but not in LA or, south of LA, which is still considered LA for people not from LA because it's an hour or more away. Anyway, the people were older. They were on a vacation trip to San Francisco, and they had no idea of bike messengers. Like, they didn't know that they existed until I happened into their life. But what they ended up doing is they were so concerned and appalled at, the man, he felt so bad. He goes, I didn't even know to look. And I'm like, well, not just bike messengers on bicycles. You better learn how to look. That's in the driver's manual about bicyclists that are also vehicles on the road. You also have to pay. Anyway, he says, oh, we're so, they were just mortified and embarrassed and jumped on the phone immediately to their insurance company, took me to the hospital, sat there with me and waited, and then brought me to my work to drop off my work things for the end of the day, and then took me home. They spent the next 5.5, 6 hours with me, which I'll tell you, if that would have happened to a San Francisco person, wouldn't have happened. In fact, they would not have been in a hurry to throw all kinds of insurance and money at me, which they did. They were such a nice couple. They really took care of me, and I was really glad. So it wasn't a total loss of an experience. But that's how experiences are. Sometimes you really got to go through kind of hell. Nobody. Okay, now there's a commercial again on this thing. Please excuse that. We don't know what's going to happen a lot of times. I knew before that door opened in front of me that I was nervous about something. I did have a reason to be nervous. I just didn't know what it was, although there was only a few things that could have happened, and that was number one, the thing I should have been worried about. So I wasn't even thinking about a door opening in front of me. The possibility I knew always was there, but I was more concerned with the traffic. But even if I had been paying more attention to the right of me, I wouldn't have been able to react in time, because he only opened it this much when I ran into it, and then that popped it open. And when I bounced back and did all this stuff to the other car, I think that's why I was able to fall almost into the guy's lap when I finally my velocity ended. It was just everything happened so fast, but the resolution of it was fine. And then the care that these people extended over my injury and that they had caused it was overwhelming, but in the most beautiful way. So it almost feels like an analogy, that whole experience, for the something happening to you and you going through all of the feels about it. And I was more than happy to drag myself out of the situation where I was feeling the feels of the hurt. I wanted nothing more than to get to that hospital and get some pain relief. But I had to do some things first. I had some responsibilities that I still had to deal with. I had to, exchange insurance information with the cab driver. I had to hand off my package and make sure, I had to maintain the level of concern that thing got where it was supposed to be at the appointed time, and there wasn't much of it left. But luckily, someone came by, not even from my company actually, and took it and did it for me. So things work out. And I have had this experience recently, and I'll relate it again. Sometimes something will happen and you'll think it's terrible and it's the worst thing, but once you get through it, that's kind of like a momentary impression, and maybe you're dramatic and making more of it than it actually was. But whatever the degree of the thing that happened, there's going to be a resolution afterward. There's always going to be a something else that happens later. And if it's a good thing or a bad thing kind of is dependent on us. What am I doing on time here? Oh, shoot, I'm really going. All right. I'm going to go ahead and pull this animal card and shuffle them very well, but Nightingale. I'm just going to do this real quick. I'm not going to pull out the book because it's talking about communications and this bird, the nightingale, which is apparently endowed with this really beautiful voice, and it's a nocturnal bird, which is also unusual. But you wouldn't look at it being the drab brown little bird that it is and think that such a mellifluous sound would come out of it, such a pleasing sound. And it's also speaking light into the darkness. And that's a superpower. To be a beautiful light in the darkness. And so it just, for me, comes right back to even what I was just saying. That terrible, painful thing happened, but I just had to keep it together in the darkness of the pain and the injury and the stress of gotta get this thing done, and oh my god, I'm gonna die. Am I gonna die? I knew I wasn't, but I didn't know if stuff was broken or not. But it also speaks to like what I'm doing right now. I actually have something to say, and it's going to have an application to somebody. I'm not saying everyone's going to have an interest or find useful something that I'm saying here, but someone will, and that's always my hope. So I guess the message is, things are going to come your way, and they might be inconvenient or sad, worse, or painful, even worse, but from everything you can get an experience if you come at it from a loving perspective instead of the negative one where, woe is me, this is terrible, everything happened to me and it's bad. Things happen to us for a reason. I know it's that infuriating sort of religious trope, but once you step back from your own, and I'm reflecting on my own feelings here, but once you step back from your own feelings and prejudices about a thing and you can look at it with objectivity, then you can get something out of it, and that is something to love about having had the experience. Thank you and good night.